This is the UDIAG X60, and this is a brand new scan tool for 2026. And I've had the pleasure of testing this for the last 3 weeks. I even helped my friend avoid a costly repair as I used the intelligence from this particular scan tool. And I'll show you guys all that in this video, as well as showing you guys what's included. So let's jump into it. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So we got my son and I out here, and today we're going to be giving you guys a complete review of the X60, and I'm going to show you guys how I use this on my recent road trip to California as I ran into some issues. And I am going to give this a RandomFix tool grade so you guys can decide for yourself, so make sure you guys stick around for that. Okay guys, so let's take a look at what's included. So we get the box itself, we get the scan tool, and the scan tool does have a kickstand. It has a camera on the back, and what I love about it is the fact that it's going to be charged via USB-C right up top. We got a USB-A connection right there, and it feels sturdy and solid. This is going to have Bluetooth wireless, so here's the dongle, and very easy to set up. No accounts or email addresses to enter, no crazy activation process. And I'm going to talk about updates and all that throughout the video. And this is how easy it is to update. So we hit update, and we're just going to go and click upgrade. I'm going to let that roll in the background and show you guys what's included. So we got a bag full of goodies here, and some of the cables in here are going to be nice to have. They're not really required, but let me show you guys when you would use this. So we have a charging brick with many different adapter tips. The battery life seems to be really good. We have a DOIP cable. So basically this is going to go and plug into the vehicle. This goes and plugs into here. This is going to connect to here, and it's going to connect to here, and this goes into the top of the scan tool itself. Again, this is for DOIP. This is going to be on some of the newer Jaguars and BMWs. This is something I normally don't ever use, so I just keep it in the box. It does come with a nice hard shell box like this, and an instruction manual, data cable, and charging side right here, the OBD2 extension. So here's all that's included. And as far as updates, this does not come with lifetime updates. This comes with 2 years of updates, and I'm going to display the yearly cost for renewing the software. And in the real world, when I use this is the only thing I normally keep with me. So I keep the VCI, the scan tool nearby. All those other accessories that I showed you guys are basically put away, and I just lock them into place. Now let's quickly talk about the interface. So I normally use the intelligent diagnosis. This is how I basically enter scanning the vehicle. It'll go through and try to connect to this. This needs to be plugged in, and you'll hear a little beep. There's maintenance, so I'm going to scroll through these so you can go and check these out for yourselves. Some of these are pretty basic, and some of them are a little bit more advanced. The ECU reset is nice. NOx reset. A lot of the lower end scan tools don't have this. We got an auto meter reset, window calibration, turbo matching, and if we want to check the coverage list, we can quickly hold this, and it will give us the coverage list and open up another window. And I do have the option of purchasing additional modules. Here's some of the modules that are currently available. Files, repair info. So if I wanted to look up a basic code, I could. There's a browser built in, a learning section. We have the updates, and again, all the updates have been installed since owning the scan tool. I have installed 145 different updates. There's a feedback section, and here's the camera. So this is really nice for a shop. If you want to maybe do some pre-work pictures, that would be great. I blurred out my cousin's face because he's one of the many people that hasn't used AI to troubleshoot his vehicle. We're going to basically make his life so much easier because we're going to use this scan tool to troubleshoot and pinpoint his issue without having to rip things apart. So he's going to tell you a quick story.
So I bought this Cadillac, swapped the engine because the original engine was blown, and a couple weeks ago I got a timing code, thinking maybe my timing chain is bad. I was going to take it all apart, but Adam says that there's other things that could potentially be wrong, so let's see if we can figure out what's going on for real.
If I can save you a bunch of time, are you going to be excited?
Very excited.
Are you going to subscribe to the channel?
I'm already subscribed.
All right,
You should be too.
We're going to be using a brand new scan tool here, and this is from UDIAG. I've never used one of their scan tools. This is the X60, and we're going to help this guy out. We're going to do this really fast, and you're not going to have to rip this car apart. You excited?
Yes.
Do you believe me?
Kind of.
Kind of.
We'll see.
All right, let's do this. All right, so here's the scenario. One of my cousins has a car, check engine light is on, and instead of going through and dealing with just the diagnostic trouble code, we're going to go ahead and snipe this issue, and I'm going to show you guys how to word this to the AI, because if you say the wrong thing, the AI will basically start pinpointing something that is not accurate, and we want to basically let the AI do its thing. Okay, so we have a P0010-00, and on some vehicles it may display the feature that we're looking for right here, but on this particular scan tool we're going to go to read DTCs, then go down to additional DTC information. We're going to check out this freeze frame data, and we're looking for the snowflake right here. We need to click on that. This is all the information that was available to the computer when this issue actually triggered. So in this case we have 3 pages of information, and each page roughly has about 12 different data fields. So the AI is going to take those 36 data fields along with information on the DTC and also the vehicle, and it's going to give me a pretty good idea on what this can be. And I'm going to share this via email, and I apologize in advance, but I'm going to screen record my phone, so if you guys need to do this on your phone, you can do it. Doing it on a PC is a lot better. Okay, so I've sent the report to myself. Now on my iPhone, I'm going to go to my Gmail, and I'm going to view the report. Now I'm going to save this to files. Okay, so here's the report, and I'm going to share this with Gemini. Now when you share this with Gemini, you do not want to tell the AI any of the previous history. We want to make sure that it tries to go and correlate the data related to the vehicle and not give it any previous mistakes that you may have made during your installation. If you do, it'll keep pinpointing it on you. This is very important. Now I'm going to say, please analyze this information for this vehicle and this DTC. While I'm waiting for Gemini to figure out what's going on with this vehicle, if you have a 2010 and newer, you'll actually have 3 different freeze frame data. You'll have a pending, current, and stored. You want to then go and upload all 3 of those particular reports instead of just the one, as you'll get a better result. And let's see what the AI has figured out. Inspect the physical harness, but it's not the timing chain. Okay, so the AI has basically landed us on this particular section of the engine. This is going to be bank 1, which is going to be on this Cadillac 4.6 liter. Check that out, guys. What do you see in there? There's oil on that connector. This literally has been haunting my cousin for the last year, and he was thinking about redoing the timing chain, redoing everything, and with the help of the correct scan tool and the freeze frame data, without telling it any of the work that we had previously done, it has gone through and basically pinpointed the issue. So even though this is going to be a lot of work to fix this wire, but we basically troubleshooted that the connector here is bad. It's not here. It goes underneath the intake on this STS motor and somewhere to the computer, but this is going to be a lot better than, again, replacing the chain and not fixing the issue. He has to replace the solenoid here, as that is bad, and also the wire harness is bad. Just to show you guys that it found the exact solution, we actually unplugged that solenoid. Car's driving, The same exact code, nothing has changed. Not fun, but a lot better than fixing the wrong problem that is not going to get you anywhere. You're still going to be stuck with your vehicle in limp mode with the check engine light on. Now that you guys saw how I helped my cousin avoid an unnecessary repair, let me show you guys how I helped myself with this scan tool. So I was taking a trip to California, which is about 4,700 miles round trip, and I really enjoyed seeing my family. But on that trip, I realized I had a blown head gasket, which is pretty common on these third generation Toyota Priuses, and I'll do a future video on how I actually dealt with this. But long story short, this particular vehicle has two engine coolant sensors. So one is on the engine and another one is right back there. And what happens is the coolant runs down to the exhaust, and the exhaust basically heats up the coolant so the heater can work faster. That particular mechanism had failed, and I was getting boiling hot water back into my engine. I never noticed this as everything in Texas is flat, but when I started climbing some mountains, I quickly discovered that the head gasket was blown, and I went through and made an emergency repair. I got myself home safely. Using a scan tool like this is really nice, as it allows me to command different components to turn on, and I can quickly verify that they're working. So I verified that the cooling fans were working, the water pump was working, as the water pump is electric, and I used the live data to check the coolant temperature for the engine and also for the heat exchanger, which goes down to the Cadillac converter. This saved the day. So let's quickly hook this up to the Toyota, and I'll also do a scan on the Mercedes, as that is a newer 2024 model, to see if this can go through and communicate with that. Try this intelligent diagnosis. And under service functions, here's what's available. And not everything applies. So, for example, this gasoline particulate filter, if you click on this, it does not apply. I'm going to do a quick health report. So here's the only issue that I found. I can go through and make a report, clear, or rescan the vehicle. What I realized on my trip was, as I was climbing, just for a brief second, the coolant light turned on. This vehicle doesn't have any sort of temperature gauge. Once I figured out that I had an issue, I can quickly go through and select the right module. So I went through, and instead of monitoring the data on the engine coolant, I looked at the combination meter. So this is the combination meter. Here we have the ability to do actuation tests. So let's just say it was a fluke and that light turned on by accident. I can quickly test that light right here. So I'm going to hit this light, but I'm going to turn this on. If you guys notice, I just turned on that light. That is the light that turned on as I was driving, and it was a pending code, no check engine light actually turned on. I'm going to turn it off again. Basically, this demonstrates that this scan tool is bidirectional. Not only can it go through and read codes, it can also send commands to the vehicle. And sending complicated commands like testing out that light, that is not something basic scan tools can do. This one does a really good job of it. Besides that light turning on, I also noticed that I was losing coolant. So I basically had almost no coolant left in the reservoir, as the returning coolant was basically flash boiling. And I even stopped at a store, got myself a new cap. And you guys know how it is whenever you go and get an aftermarket cap. That cap basically fell apart within 1 week. I thought it was the cap. It wasn't the cap. Now I got a vehicle with a blown head gasket that runs great. And I'm going to see how long I can keep it running great, but I'll leave that for another video. And let's go back again. I'm going to go to that same combination meter and just show you guys how I basically dealt with this. Here it is right here, engine coolant temperature. This is not from the engine block. And that's why I threw the code. It's because the coolant on the heat exchanger was much hotter. And this right here is at 88.7 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And I can go through and graph this, but let me show you guys that this is not the same as regular engine coolant. Engine control module, live data, and I can quickly do a search here too. Here's the coolant initial temperature. If I wanted to, I can go through and graph this, and I can graph 12 different data streams at once. And I can also record it, so really powerful scan tool. Now let me show you guys how I actually use this to my benefit. So I went to actuation tests. I turned on the fan way before it was needed. I didn't deal with the problem until I got to the Bay Area, and I had to go over the grapevine from Los Angeles to the Bay Area. Once I got the coolant temperature, the water pump speed and target speed, selected OK, and I basically turned that fan on way ahead of time. And as you guys notice, when you go and select things, it didn't do a good job of actually giving me the right information. So I'm going to go back to this. I had actually selected 3 items, but only 1 item appeared on that final actuation test. So that is a little bit of a bummer. Now we're hooked up to the Mercedes. The ignition is on, and let's test the range on the adapter. Let's go to the common features on this. Here's the common features that are available. We're going to do a status report. Ignition is on. And this found quite a few problems on this vehicle. 55 diagnostic trouble codes. This is the most I've seen on any vehicle, and this is pretty common when a vehicle doesn't get driven for 3 weeks. However, I'm going to go and quickly make a report of this. So I went through and shared that report with myself, and here's all the codes. Again, number 1 reason why this happens is low voltage. So let's clear this. Now is my favorite part of the video. This is where I'm going to go and give this a RandomFix tool grade so you guys can decide for yourself. And as always, I base my score relative to price. So there's a lot that I like about this particular scan tool and some things that I would like to change. The scan tool itself at times can be buggy, and the kickstand is not great. On top of that, the communication device that interfaces with the vehicle doesn't stick onto the scan tool itself, so it's really easy to go and lose it, especially if you're using this for work. Overall, some of the things that I like about it, it has really good coverage, some unique features. It's a complete package, so it comes with a nice case, and it's going to keep your device protected for a long time. And after testing the unit out for 4 weeks, I'm happy to give this a RandomFix tool grade of 75 out of 100, and I'll display on the screen how I rated this. And the only reason this didn't get a higher score is because of the pricing. However, just like the unit is constantly improving and getting updates, so is the pricing. And I've actually seen a few price improvements. So you guys will find a direct link down below, as well as at the end of the video right here with a special coupon code, which I'll also display on the screen. And if you guys want to learn more about scan tools and some of the different units I've tested, I'll leave you guys a complete playlist right here. And if there's anything in this video that I left out that you feel is important, please let me know what it is, and I'll do my best to incorporate it into another video. As always, make it a great day. Thanks again.